I'm an attorney, and for the last year I've been presenting the legal argument of the continuity of the Kingdom of Hawaii. It's been my position in the courts that because of an executive agreement between Lili'u and Grover Cleveland, that the office of the President remains continually obligated to restore the Kingdom of Hawaii. So that's the legal position I've been taking in courts. Now, having acknowledged Na'alehu, my question always has to be, when it comes to the Royal Commission, where are we going first before I decide I let go? Because if they're going someplace I don't want to go, I'm not getting in that car. And if I get in that car and then decide, and then find out I'm going someplace I don't want to go, the door's locked. And I'm stuck. So I'm going to take a little bit of an extreme position right now. A little bit of extreme, because I want to give you guys something to think about. Let me have you take a look at this poster I made. This is Chapter 6 of the Hawaii Penal Code of the Kingdom of Hawaii.
Not the governing entity.
Not the governing entity, the Kingdom of Hawaii. This is the penal code for treason. And it says, treason is hereby defined to be the plotting or attempt to dethrone or destroy the king, or the levying of war against the king's government, or the adhering to the enemies thereof, giving them aid and comfort, the same being done by a person owing allegiance to this kingdom. Just something to think about. And the reason I want you to think about it is because the Royal Commission is asking you to take a path that you have to consider, and consider in connection with your own Kingdom of Hawaii law. Are you in fact committing treason to the Kingdom of Hawaii by signing up on the Royal Commission? The next thing, if I can, I'd like you to consider is, now I'm not an expert on indigenous right or inherent sovereignty, but I too have some knowledge, and I went and looked it up. Okay? So I have this poster, which is available. Now, this information here is information of United States Supreme Court cases, as well as Indian Nation publications, of what the United States has determined what inherent sovereignty and indigenous rights are. The United States. And this is, I'll just read a quote. Inherent sovereignty is a U.S. domestic term that applies to Native American tribes or nations within a nation. It is not international law. Goes on to say that in this study, it's a study by, it's actually a report by the CreateAnIndianNation.com, Inherent Sovereignty, August 5th, 2008. In that article it says, the United States versus Wheeler, in the United States versus Wheeler, the U.S. Supreme Court reaffirmed the inherent tribal sovereignty. Although physically within the territory of the United States and subject to the ultimate federal control, they nonetheless remain a separate people with the power of regulating their internal and social relations. Inherent powers of a liberal sovereignty which can never be extinguished. What this says, and I'll give you the opportunity to look at it, is that inherent sovereignty and indigenous rights, as exclaimed by the Native Royal Commission, has already been defined by United States law. They've already dictated where you're going. And that inherent sovereignty law and indigenous rights has been already said, it can never, it indicates that it does not include a right of independence or permanent sovereignty over your natural resources. So your direction is set. The Native Royal Commission, whether intentionally or unknowingly, has already brought a map to a direction that those who support independence and deoccupation would never get on board. So I would myself say, I love you, Na'alehu, but I'm not going on that car. Finally, the last poster I just wanted to talk to you about is part of the executive agreements between Lili'u and Grover Cleveland. These are documents which does exist. I've now presented it to the courts on numerous occasions, and the courts in the state of Hawaii has taken judicial notice of these executive agreements. Now, within the court language, what that means when they take judicial notice is they're not disputing that these are actual documents. They're not disputing the facts of the agreement between the Kingdom of Hawaii and the United States. And essentially what it says, and this is a message from U.S. diplomat Albert Willis to the Hawaiian Kingdom. The provisional government was not established by the Hawaiian people or with their consent or acquiescence, nor has it since existed with their consent. So it goes on below and it says Grover Cleveland wants to make known to the President his sincere regret that the reprehensible conduct of the American minister and the unauthorized presence on land of a military force of the United States obliged her to surrender her sovereignty for the time being and rely on the justice of this government, that being the United States, to undo the flagrant wrong. So, again, they have an ongoing obligation under international law to restore the Kingdom of Hawaii. If that ongoing international obligation to restore the Kingdom of Hawaii continues to exist, then if you are one who believes in the occupation and the restoration of the Hawaiian Kingdom, I have to implore you, you cannot get on that va'a. You cannot go on that ka'a. And it's just my own opinion, but I think it's also supported by U.S. law, international law. Mahalo.